Hello all, welcome to my channel. Hope you are all safe in this pandemic situation. Today I'm going to start the topic, the first ever topic, applied aspects of brachial plexus. Let's start the applied aspects of brachial plexus with a case study where you can understand betterly if you have a case. So let's start. A newborn baby was brought to the hospital with the complaints of not able to move the right upper limb. On examination, we found that the baby's hand is adducted to the body and wrist was flexed. This is a case where the injury to the lower part of the neck, that means the lower part of the neck, the nerves in the lower part of the neck is get damaged. So let's see the clinical aspects of brachial plexus in one by one. This is a baby who was brought to the hospital with the complaints of not able to move the right upper limb. The baby's hand is adducted to the body and the wrist was flexed. This is due to this case is called as Erb's palsy. So the first case in brachial plexus is Erb's palsy. Palsy refers to weakness of the muscle. Paralysis means complete loss of muscle tone. This occurs due to the undue separation of head from the shoulder during birth or parturition. Root value of this Erb's palsy is C5 and C6 root value. So the C5 and C6 joins to form the upper trunk of brachial plexus. That upper trunk is known as Erb's point. In the Erb's point, six nerves meet. The six nerves are C5, C6, dorsal and ventral divisions of upper trunk, also called as anterior and posterior divisions, supraclavicular and nerve to subclavius. Muscles paralyzed in this Erb's palsy are deltoid, brachialis, biceps brachii, supraspinatus, infraspinatus, and supinator. This deformity is also called as policeman's tip deformity. Erb's palsy is also associated with Horner syndrome in severe cases. Horner syndrome has ptosis as a characteristic. Ptosis means drooping of upper eyelid, and it also has the characteristics of loss of sweat in the half of the face resulting in anhidrosis. Next, Erb's palsy in adults occurs due to the fall on the shoulder resulting from the undue separation of head from the shoulder and results in policeman's tip deformity, or it is also called as potter's tip hand. Next is the Klumpke's paralysis. This Klumpke's paralysis occurs due to the compression of lower part of the trunk of brachial plexus. This is due to the undue separation of abduction of arm, over abduction of arm during the birth injury, and it is very rare, this Klumpke's paralysis. Adult, due to clenching of something by hand after fall from the height. This is a cause for the adult. In Klumpke's paralysis, muscles paralyzed are intrinsic muscles of hand because ulnar nerve is involved. Root value is C8 and T1, which is the lower trunk of brachial plexus. This clumpy paralysis is also characterized by ulnar claw hand. This is a picture to show the ulnar claw hand. Ulnar claw hand has the characteristic features of hyperextensions of metacarpophalangeal joints and flexion of interphalangeal joints. This clumsy paralysis is also associated with Horner syndrome in severe cases. The Horner syndrome as same as though I explained before. This Horner syndrome of occurs because of the upper 4 to 5 thoracic segments which supplies the arm and head and neck, which has a sympathetic supply. Interactive of sympathetic supply results in Horner syndrome. This picture, what you're seeing right now, is cervical rib syndrome. This syndrome causes compression of brachial plexus. It is an extra rib arising from the 7 cervical vertebra. The transverse process of 7 cervical vertebra extends to form the cervical rib. Because of this rib, the lower part of the brachial plexus gets compressed. Also, with the brachial plexus, subclavian artery also get compressed. To identify, we have a test called as Axon's test. This test is done to check whether the radial pulse is lost or not. If Axon's test is positive, if the radial pulse is lost during the abduction and external rotation of arm. Similar to the cervical rib syndrome, the common syndromes are thoracic outlet syndrome. Here, the reason is the abnormal attachments of scalene anterior muscle to the first rib that results in the hypertrophy of scalenus anterior muscle, causing compression of lower part of brachial plexus and subclavian artery. Next case is the winging of scapula. This picture shows the winging of scapula. This occurs because of the paralysis of serratus anterior muscle. This serratus anterior muscle is attached to the medial border of scapula. This muscle is supplied by nerve to serratus anterior or long thoracic nerve. The long thoracic nerve, it has the name itself. Because of its length, it often gets injured, results in winging of scapula, where the medial border of scapula is more prominent during pushing movement against the wall. Movements lost are pushing and punching movements are lost, and overhead abduction is also lost. Last but not the least, brachial plexus lost. This is often used by the anesthetist for regional anesthesia to anesthetize the upper limb for any surgeries in upper limb. These are all the applied aspects of brachial plexus. Thank you for watching my video. If you like this video, you can share with your friends, subscribe and like. Thank you.